All right, welcome to the Policy Lens. My name is Michael Garcia. I'm a PhD student. I study on economic policy. And just a brief overview of the channel, I will be explaining and talking about having long, meaningful discussions about public policy, economic policy, and how that affects our daily lives. The purpose of this is to start from the beginning and work our way all the way through to figure out all this stuff that's going on and how it affects us. Us 9 to 5ers, us part time people, us people that's just trying to make it, we all trying to figure this stuff out. And a lot of stuff is moving around and we don't know exactly the reasons why. So this channel is we're gonna dive deep into different type of policies, different type of economic circumstances, and that way we can engage and navigate for our own betterment throughout this time. So I got this quote here written by myself just so I can overall express and say everything clearly. So I'm not an expert, but I'm passionate about understanding how policy impacts people like you and me. This channel is about exploring these issues in a way that makes them easy to understand. I want to learn with you, and I love for you to share your thoughts, questions, or resources in the comments as we go along. So starting off for today, we're going to start with an important question, and it's a basic one. But the question is, do we really understand what it means to pay taxes? Why do we pay taxes in the first place? So, at the end of this main concept, towards the end of the video, we're going to have an everyday talk. So we're going to really break this down and really answer this question. So according to the IRS states taxes are financial charges or levies imposed by the government on individuals, businesses, and organizations to fund public services. So many of us could agree that that's what the IRS takes our money for. And that would be income tax, sales tax, for example. Investopedia says there are several types of taxes, including income tax, sales tax, property tax, and more. Each type has a different purpose, but they all help fund the functioning of society. So that part I highlighted it. Each type has a different purpose, but they all help fund the functioning of society. So we're going to break that a little bit down towards the end of the video. We're going to talk more about that. So the role of taxes in a functioning economy. According to the Department of Treasury, they say taxes are a primary source of income for governments. Without taxes, governments couldn't fund essential services like healthcare, education, infrastructure, and public safety. I would say most of us would agree to that as well. So I'm going to keep going through a couple more of these institutions to get their definition of what taxes are. So we're going to go textbook and continue to read directly from these institutions. Next, we have according to the OECD, Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. They state taxes also play a role in redistributing wealth where wealthier individuals or corporations pay higher taxes, helping to fund programs that support those in need or maintain social services. So, in the comment section, tell us what programs or services you think they're speaking of. If your tax money is being redistributed to individuals from corporations, let us know what you think about that. We have another one from Brookings Institution. The connection between taxes and services is that taxes provide the government with the necessary funds to provide services that benefit the entire community, like roads, public schools, hospitals, police, and fire services. So we have all these institutions that are saying the same thing. We just went over a couple. But are these really happening up to your standard? So they're telling us why they're taking our taxes and what they're for. But is that the case right now? In 2024, is that the case right now? So I got some quotes here from a thread where this question was asked, whether everyday people think that taxes are actually going to something that the government and these institutions are saying that they're supposed to do. Someone wrote, think about it. The roads you drive on, they're paid by taxes. Another person writes, public schools are funded through taxes, so every child in every neighborhood can get an education. These are all funded through taxes. We could say that that could be the case, but in all actuality, we could say otherwise. And someone like myself, who do agree that taxes should go to these public services, we can't forget about the other side or overlook the other side of how taxes are actually being used. So this question leads to now, why do people hate paying taxes? So we went over why, what are taxes, what are they used for? Even though we don't have a choice for the most part to pay them, for most of the purchases and the services we do, it automatically gets taken out. But I don't think that that's the main reason why people actually hate paying taxes. But I have direct quotes from people, and these are going to be all anonymous because this was on a thread of why people hate paying taxes. So right now, 2024, in this quarter, fourth quarter, a lot of examples are being made with Ukraine. Our money is going to Ukraine. They're not going to victims such as residents that live in the Carolinas from Hurricane Helene. And this is true. This channel is not going to be a political channel, but we have to state the obvious. Most people can't even identify where Ukraine is on the world map. But you have a small group of people who are making these decisions and sending that money over. So that could be on the top of the list of why people hate paying taxes. So I got another one from the Policy Center, Research on Tax Systems. The reality is a lot of taxpayers feel like their money isn't going to things they actually benefit them. Instead, sometimes gets funneled into corrupt practices, inefficiencies, or programs that don't serve the public interest. And that is probably the number one reason. Perceived lack of value. People feel they don't see the direct benefit of their tax dollars. I could agree with that as well. That's definitely a big issue on why people hate paying taxes. And this is also why, with this new administration that's coming in, Trump's administration, they're going to start DOGE, which is the Department of Government Efficiency. And they're going to address wasteful spending because many taxpayers feel they don't have a clear understanding of how the tax dollars are spent. Reports of government waste, mismanagement, or corruption can make people skeptical about their contributions are used efficiently. Number 2 on this list from why people hate paying taxes. It's a high financial burden. For individuals and families, taxes can significantly reduce disposable income, making it harder to meet financial goals. So I think people would feel a lot better and sacrifice their individual self for the greater good if they knew their taxes was going to something well and meaningful and that they can actually see it. But we obviously know that that's not the case. For business owners often view taxes as a cost that reduces profitability and hinders growth. You're a business owner. Why would you want to keep a business? Why would you want to start a business if you knew all your profits was going to go to taxes or was going to go overseas to Ukraine, for example? Number 3 on the list, complexity and confusion. The tax system and filing taxes is extremely overwhelming and ever changing with regulations. This is done on purpose. There's no denying that. Only a select few actually really knows how to navigate the tax system, and the ones that do is mostly for their benefit. And if you want your taxes done, you're going to have to hire an accountant, purchase some type of software, and you're going to have to most likely spend money just to pay taxes. So that's actually number 3 on the list. Number 4, perceived unfairness. Double taxation. Taxes like inheritance tax, capital gains taxes, or sales tax can feel like being taxed on money that has already been taxed. I mean, this right here, unfortunately, a lot of people don't even know that they are being double taxed. And yes, as Americans, we can, or we should, get the knowledge so we can not, be sucked into this. But, unfortunately, this is where things have come to for a very long time. Number 5, lack of control. I actually would have this one higher. No choice in spending. Taxpayers don't have direct control over how their money is allocated, and many disagree with certain government expenditures, military spending, or certain specific industries. Feeling of coercion. The mandatory nature of taxes can invoke resentment as they are non-negotiable and enforced on a penalty of law. Basically, you don't pay taxes, you're going to get locked up, or you're going to get paid a heavy fine. So on top of all the things we said about why people hate paying taxes, you have no choice. You still will be penalized either way. So that's more of a reason for you to hate paying taxes. And we have, the list just goes on and on and on and on. Another, all the way to number 9. We're skipping a couple. Hitting on unexpected taxes, surprise liabilities, unexpected tax bills, such as underpayment penalties, can create financial stress. Regressive tax structures. Certain taxes, like sales tax, disproportionately impact lower income individuals, adding to perceptions of unfairness. Well, we already know that the middle class has been decimated based off of this. So taxes are very unfair, and the middle class, the average working person, is going to suffer the most. That's why it's very important, for what we talked about in the beginning of the video, to understand what the purpose of taxes are for. And now we can hold the right elected officials, lawmakers, accountable for tax use, and it not being spent on things that really does not benefit us. That's one thing every political cycle we always hear about lower your taxes, but it's kind of just a segue, just, the right thing to say, but most people end up just paying and not really getting to the meat of it. So this was just a quick introduction. You can expect more type of videos like this. This is just, starting from the very beginning and opening up a community for discussion. And the comment section is going to be very important, because, questions I was asked, like, for example, what are some of these programs that our taxes is supposed to help, support our money for the greater good, questions like that. So thank you for tuning in, and please like, share, and subscribe, and be on the lookout for the next video coming up.